Hi there, I'm Peter Teloniatis, physiotherapist, and today we're going to be talking about 3 different strategies for working on bending and lifting. So the first is a squat. So a squat is a basic movement where we focus on having the knees bent, and we want to work on keeping our, we want to try to keep our torso vertical, relatively upright. You don't want to be bending beyond 60 degrees. So actually that's a point where there's a transition from reliance on the muscles of the back to more so the ligaments and the inner tissues, the disc, the bone, the joint. So we would try to kind of discourage any kind of bending forward of the torso beyond 60 degrees. So we emphasize limiting it to that. So a squat would be basically knees bent, hips bent, and focusing on looking forward, roughly 45 degrees in front of you. Now, ideally from the front view, you can basically see that what we want is we want to have our knees in line with our second toe. So when we're doing a focused, like a squat, we want to make sure that our knees are in line, they're not collapsing inwards. We want to make sure that they're staying in line and that we're staying focused. So that's one strategy to pick up an object. If you got to pick up something heavy, that would work really well. The second strategy is a reverse lunge. A reverse lunge is when you're kind of bending backwards to pick up an object, and you can use that strategy both ways to pick up lighter objects. If you're focusing on working on an area, let's say in the backyard, where you're planting a plant or something, you can focus on that for lighter weight. So essentially what it is a movement where you're lunging backwards and then keeping your torso vertical and letting your knee drop, right? From the side view, essentially what you want is the knee dropping as your front leg stays forward. So most people, they'll lean kind of forward, but what you want is to be relatively straight in your torso relative to the thigh and to be dropping straight down. So that would be a reverse lunge. The third option is a single leg deadlift. For the single leg deadlift, what you would be doing is you'd be standing on one leg and you'd be hinging from the hip, and then you'll notice that I'm not collapsing my torso at all, focusing on keeping my torso relatively locked, splinted, so that I'm not compromising it, but it's movement from the hip. If that is challenging for you and you're losing your balance, you could have one foot on the floor and be doing that same strategy until you can gain the confidence to do it with the foot in the air. So that's the third strategy. From the front view, you'll notice that you don't want to be doing any twisting of the torso, keeping the legs relatively neutral, pelvis neutral, so that you're not twisting. So there you have it, 3 strategies to focus on bending and lifting without compromising your low back, and kind of dispersing the workload through your hips, knees, and ankles without compromising any other body parts. Have a good day.